the fight on Saturday could have been Jon Jones versus Izzy. It would have been a massive, massive fight. And they said, no, we'll wait. And now I feel like it's definitely not happening in 2021. It might not happen in 2022. It may not happen ever now because they're just on totally different paths. This guy's going to 185. Jon is now at heavyweight. I think it was a mistake. Not the timing was right. The stars had aligned. The fight this past Saturday for Izzy should have been against Jon Jones. What do you think?
That was a bit of a mishap because now people talk about the intrigue may be gone from Izzy. That's not true. No. I still believe he's one of the best fighters in the world. But I was guilty of it. Watching him do what he did at 85 makes you believe he can go with anybody. And because of the skill set, you think he can beat a Jones. Today, after watching last Saturday, I believe Jones would be too big for him. I really do. Just calling a spade, rivalry out the window. I just believe Jones would be too big for him because watching Yan take him down, Jones would press him against the octagon and take him down, right? So I just think that fight, for as much intrigue as there was, for me, it doesn't really need to happen because I just believe that now, especially with the weight that Jones has put on, not a great fight for Adesanya. I do believe that. I was never confident that he would beat Jones to begin with. I thought he could compete with him, maybe win. I don't feel like Izzy would be able to get him right now. I just think unless he put on massive amounts of weight and decided he was never going to be able to make 85 again and never fight light. You would have to be 225 pounds in order to go and compete with Jones, even at 205. And it would take a complete career change in terms of direction in order for him to beat a guy like Jones. Because even today, for as much as we love Yan Makhachev and how great he did, I still think that Jones is the best 205 pounder in the world.
Glover Teixeira waiting in the wings for Yan Blachowicz. That's a sensational fight. I don't think Yan has any injuries per se, so hopefully we get to see that pretty quick because Glover Teixeira is not getting any younger. But I tell you what, Glover is a fucking animal, and that's a really, really tough fight for Yan Blachowicz, but one that I can't wait to see.
All I'm going to say is that I really love what Monster has done for me as a company. I can't stress that enough. Yeah. Monster has been there for me, and hopefully everybody got that in my interview, that I'm here to draw a line that Monster is the company that I represent, and I represent them proudly, and I wear them on all my interviews. I do my job for them in any aspect they can. They do so much for the military. Darlene from Monster Energy Drink does a lot for all the military, and I do a lot with them. And they support so many fighters. So they're huge for our sport. When you have a guy who's forcing you to promote him and not the brand itself, that was the line I was trying to draw. And that's it. Because when a person says to you, you have to post on my social media platform. You need to post pictures with me on my social media platform. You need to comment on my photos. And if you don't, we're going to have a problem. I look at you and go,
yeah.
Do I have to do that?
Right.
Is that what I have to do?
Right.
I'm confused here. And if that's what I have to do, well, I'm going to have to see about that.
Yeah.
That's all.
Man, I was so impressed with Islam. Wow.
Yep.
I love seeing Habib in his corner, and I'll tell you, man, I can't wait to see him fight again. I wonder who's next for him. He was calling out Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, he was.
What's wrong with that fight, Jimmy? What's wrong with that fight?
Yeah, does Ferguson have anyone lined up or no?
I don't know, but he likes to scrap.
Yeah, he does.
That'd be a fantastic fight. I cannot wait to see Islam Makhachev fight again. I don't think he's injured. Let's book him back right away. I got to see that guy fight again. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Is it potentially a situation where we don't see a fight booked in the female featherweight division for a long time?
We'll get together on that on Tuesday and figure out what's next. And listen, we'll keep that division cranking as long as the champ wants to defend it.
First of all, Megan Anderson walking to her dressing room. They had film of her walking to her dressing room. She looked purple. I mean, she looked like she was just spooked to be out there. And then, you know, she seemed to bring it back in when she walked in the octagon. She seemed more calm. But on a technical level, it didn't really matter. Amanda Nunes is just superior to everyone at 145 pounds. And the way you find out is by getting finished by her repeatedly. Nunes is already the best women's fighter to ever do it. She will go down as the greatest women's fighter to ever do it. It's going to be very difficult to match what she's accomplished. And to do it in the fashion that she did, first of all, I'd like to find out, is that the first reverse triangle that we've seen for a finish in the UFC? I think it might be, but that's a submission that's very high level, and to do it when your opponent is belly down is very impressive. And she certainly had the combo on the armbar if she wanted to, but that was a triangle choke from the back. That is nasty, dude. And that takes a lot of skill to pull off. And she just made it look easy. And then she basically knocked her out before that. So put 2 finishes down for Amanda Nunes.
Я ничего не хочу ему говорить. Он много говорил про бумажного чемпиона, но вы сейчас видите, кто является бумажным чемпионом. Я даже бы не притронулся к такому поясу и фотографироваться с друзьями с поясом и говорить, что ты чемпион. Это стыдно просто так делать.
I'm not gonna say anything to him, but you remember before the fight he was talking a lot about who's the paper champ, but now we see who's the real paper champ. It's him, you know. For me, I wouldn't even touch the belt like this, you know, and taking pictures, celebrating it, you know, it's really shameful.
Он играет на камеру, в октагоне он бросил пояс, потом они его взяли. Вы же видите, он на публике он один, в другом месте он совсем другой. Он нереальный, он просто играет.
I feel like he's not real, he's fake, you know. In public, he does one thing, throwing the belt away. Then with his friends, he's carrying the belt around. I feel like he's just playing around. He's fake.
Говорит, что хочет со мной драться. На деле он не хочет со мной драться. Вы понимаете, что он говорит для медиа, что он понимает, что нужен реванш, но избегает реванша уже со мной. Это просто делает настоящий трус так.
And he's been saying that he wants to do the rematch, but in fact he doesn't really want to do the rematch, you know. He's doing everything to avoid doing the rematch with me.
This man does not give a fuck. I bet if you look up the dictionary for I don't give a fuck, you will see this man face there.